Hey everybody, welcome to this Caregiver Coffee. My name is Matthew Estrad. I'm a gerontologist in St. Tammany Parish, and I've been partnering with the Council on Aging in St. Tammany for over 10 years. All of that time as a support group facilitator, and for about half of that time is bringing you these Caregiver Coffees, and sometimes as a consultant and trainer for them and their staff. Today, I'm really excited about this topic. So I'm recording this in late December of 2025. So we're about to kick off a new year. And I think I did this last year, is kind of offer some ideas on things to do in 2026. Maybe you call them resolutions. But I know that most people are, excited to turn that page of the calendar to turn over December, and we're all starting off with a clean slate. So this might be a prime time to offer some ideas and encouragement for some of these ideas. Now, can you do all of these? That would be, I don't know, that might be overwhelming, but I'm hoping that you hear a handful of things that you will sort of plot out on a calendar, set some date goals of when you're going to start them or complete them or both. So here I'll just kind of give you this list that I came up with upon reflection of some of the things that I found valuable in my life when I've been able to do them. And certainly I'm not saying that I've done all of these or I've done them perfectly, but these are some that I have talked about, even sometimes in past videos in 2025 and previously. So before that, just a little commercial for our caregiver support group. We meet 4 Tuesdays a month, unless that Tuesday, a holiday falls on that Tuesday, and then we typically move that. But at minimum 4 Tuesdays a month. Sometimes we're in person at one of the senior activity centers, and sometimes we are virtual, like I'm recording this now. So the basic pattern is the first Tuesday of the month, we're in person at the Slidell Activity Center at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Stay as long as you want to. And actually, all of them are 6 to 7:30 p.m. The second Tuesday of the month, we are virtual on the platform Zoom, like I said, that I'm using right now. So you can use your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, you can use your computer, or you can just call in using the phone numbers. We won't see you and you won't see us, but still you'll be participating and listening and contributing if you wish. The third Tuesday of the month, we are in Covington at the Covington Senior Center, Senior Activity Center on North 10th Street. And then the fourth Tuesday, we're back on Zoom. So it's either or. It's not a hybrid where we're broadcasting an in-person meeting. It's either we're in person that Tuesday, or we are virtual on a given Tuesday. So that's the basic pattern. I highly encourage you to get on our private email list. If you're not already, it's free, it's private. I send out reminders on Tuesday morning of the fact that we're meeting and where we're meeting. So if you're joining virtually, you can pull it up and it's in your inbox. You just click on the link or dial the phone numbers. So consider doing that and joining us for uh, a support group session. It's all free. Everybody's friendly. Everybody's welcoming. You can just listen if you want to. You can offer your thoughts on someone's situation if they were looking for advice. So it's really a great time of fellowship and education and encouragement. So highly recommend it. All right, so let's get started with this list. So this is a list I just reflected on in in being in this field of aging, and trying to look ahead and plan, avoid pitfalls, and also be able to take advantage of opportunities. So that's kind of where all of these come from, and they might kind of be all over the place. I just wrote down the list. It's in no particular order. So here we go. All right, the first one is to um, get to a doctor this year. And I know a handful of people who they just don't go to the doctor. And I find it extremely valuable to go see my primary care physician once a year. He does blood work. He asks me how I'm doing. He's, able to do various screenings, and I just find it extremely valuable. Is it, a copay sometimes? It might be for yours. I don't think I actually pay a copay for PCP. Um, and going to specialists if that is warranted, and not just ignoring things or hoping that things are okay. Because if they're so you want to stay on top of your blood work to kind of know what your body is telling you, what the labs are going to tell you. So you want to catch things before they might get worse, and you want to possibly feel better. You may feel better after a certain medication or therapy or things like that, something you didn't know was going on in your body, and now you'll know. So that's one thing, is to go to your doctor if you're not already doing that on a regular basis. Next is get the most out of your doctor's visit. So maybe you're already going, but are you going into those meetings with a goal? Are you going into those meetings, those appointments with a notepad, and things that you can make sure that you're going to talk with the doctor? Are you sending them a message in the portal and saying, these are my three things that I want to make sure that we get to talk about, so they come in mentally prepared? Or you can even give a slip of paper to the registration person, or an envelope that has the things that you want to talk about, so they know going in, uh, you know, these are things we can't leave until we talk about it. Or maybe it's not put that way, but they're important enough to you where you're putting them on paper. It sends that message that these are things that are important. We might only have 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Hopefully, you have more time than that with your doctor, but it helps make the best of a short amount of time that we tend to have with doctors. Next is to consider de-prescribing from prescription medicines with the help of a doctor if you're taking five or more medications. So polypharmacy is when you're taking five or more drugs prescribed by a doctor, and I guess it could also include supplements and things like that. But we're kind of focused on the prescribing or de-prescribing part. So de-prescribing is a very research-based, scientifically driven method of looking at medications, in a measured way, and saying, do I still need to take this? Is it causing side effects? Or or if there are side effects, are they causing another condition that another drug needs to be prescribed for? So that's something called a cascade effect, where you're taking drug A. Drug A gives you side effects, so now you got to add B. A and B add another side effect, so now you got to take C, etc. So you want to make sure that your drugs are not causing side effects, that they're helping with your the health condition it's hoping to cure or reduce. Because guess what? You're taking it, you're having to remember to take it, you're having to get them filled, you're having to pay for them. Maybe some out of pocket, maybe not. But still, that's resources, and you may not need it. And if you don't need it, then you know you may not need to take it. So some people might be concerned about stopping a medication. You've been doing it for so long, and that's something, that's understandable, that you feel safe with it. So that's why this is a partnership. This is your decision as a patient, and it's a partnership with you and your medical provider to kind of look at it. And you'll probably never see a doctor say, "I'm taking you off of this," but they may have warnings for you. And the last thing I want to mention on this topic of medications is to make sure that to do some kind of medication reconciliation on your own. There's some great what they call medication calculators online. Medscape is a reputable one, and there's some others out there. You just plug in your medication. You don't put in your name or email or anything like that, but you put in your information, and it will flag any things that are concerning. You want to make sure that you don't have a anticholinergic burden. That's a long word for saying that certain drugs have what they call anticholinergics. They're found in sometimes allergy medications. They're sometimes found in urinary um, assistance medications, bladder medications, things like that. And they are not recommended at all for adults 65 and up because it can cause sort of a brain fog, confusion. It can increase risk of falls. So these are things that you want to catch if your doctor has not caught them yet and asking for something else to be prescribed if something is needed. Because you don't want to make yourself foggy or increase your risk of falls and other things. You don't want to cloud your quality of life by taking a drug that's not recommended for an older individual. All right, so next is get a home inspection. And you might think that's completely random. So I'm in the process of selling my home. Actually, we just did that. We're looking at homes right now. So we've actually gone through a home inspection to prospectively buy, which we did not. But just going through that process really kind of showed me that, wow, even a 15-year-old home that we were looking at can have lots of things that down the road can be super expensive. So if you catch them, so even if you're not purchasing a home, the home that you are in right now is an investment. And if you can catch certain things that can be fixed or they can be better maintained throughout the years, that will help in the future. That will help, of course, with resale at whoever sells the house, whether it's you or someone else that sells the house in the future. It'll help with that. It'll also help maintain some of the major systems like your AC, your air conditioning, your heat, your plumbing, uh, all the your roof, all these really expensive things that if you can catch them now, they may allow you to still use them. So identify issues, continue and do some sort of fixes and then also with those fixes, extend the life of, say, that roof or that water heater or that AC system that gives you time to save up for a replacement, which is invariably going to happen in the future. So I learned a lot from that. And it's every time I've had a couple of homes in our life or three homes, and I always appreciate the home inspection process. And I always get that idea of maybe I should do this every 4 years, maybe I should do this every 5 years, et cetera. And it costs between $400 and $500, depending on who you get and how big your home is and what kind of systems they're looking at. But that is recommended. Next is home maintenance, and I pretty much said that, Joe. If you can catch things now and do some fixes and some maintenance, it will last longer. So I kind of covered that already. Make your home safe. So usually every September, I'll put out some social media posts or I'll talk about I'll put out videos about fall risk, on fall safety, on making the home safe. And I have some videos in this Coast YouTube channel library that actually go very specific into some really cool lists that I found from the government and from other organizations. So I highly recommend making your home safe, making that a priority. Just like with maintaining your AC, the plumbing, the roof, and things like that. When you maintain, if you can reduce the risk of falling, that is going to help you be to walk longer, to do the things that you want to do longer. But you got to put a little time into it, and these might be quick fixes. And that's what I remember from those videos. They're like, fixing a step or removing some extension cords, improving the lighting, things like that, using a step stool with a handle, so you don't fall off of it. So those are some thoughts that I have on that. And we're getting it out about 15 minutes in this video, so I don't want to get too long. So we'll pause right there. I'll stop the video. I'm going to make a part two to this, and we'll pick back up with ideas of resolutions in 2026 for better health, for better quality of life, for just happier life, etc. And so I hope this list has been helpful for you so far. I hope that that if you find it helpful, you're going to share it with others, not because we're trying to get clicks at the Council on Aging in St. Tammany, but just because we do these videos and we want them to impact as many lives in a positive way as possible. So older adults, caregivers, those who are not old yet, these are things that, I think are pretty broad and it can help you. So thanks for being here, and I look forward to you viewing the next video. Take care.